Welcome back to today's workshop. Today I want to revisit the I or SIRE of your project that I mentioned in workshop 1. We tend to think of doing research as an exercise in detached, disinterested objectivity, one that includes data gathering and analysis, framing the research question against existing expert knowledge, etc. It all happens out there at an appropriate clinical distance from our subjectivity. We tend to forget that it's also quite appropriately an exercise in self-awareness and self-knowledge. We need to know something about our subjectivity in the midst of all of this appropriate objective scholarship. You need to know something about how you think and work best. Simple questions like, do I work best at home in a favourite spot, or do I prefer a busier atmosphere like a library where I can be around other people engaged in scholarly work to inspire me? Am I a full-time candidate or a part-time candidate with work or family responsibilities? Am I mainly a left brain or a right brain thinker? Who you are and what works best for you won't be the same as what works best for other people or who they are. Part of becoming a researcher is what they call finding your voice, which we'll come back to later. Learning more about this inner part of the outward-looking research project is vital, in my opinion. It means you can, over time and with growing confidence, create your own innovative research questions and answer them in ways that only you might be able to think of. And trust me, this can be both great fun as well as deeply fulfilling, knowing you are making your own contribution to society. So, do I need a project plan? This is one of the questions you might ask yourself. Some of those who write about how to do a research degree will tell you to develop a project plan and to amend this every 6 months to reflect the new information you've gained since you last planned. Having a structured list of goals, activities to achieve those goals, and a timeline in which to complete those goals can be an effective way of managing your time and working progressively towards outcomes. It can make you feel less anxious and more in control of this often very messy process. But this approach probably works best if you are someone who thinks predominantly through their left brain. Such people are naturally very organised, very methodical, highly planned in their approach to tasks. They are often detailed thinkers who worked from the ground up or inductively to complete something. They are likely to lean towards quantitative methods and the hard sciences. These reflect the natural neuroscience of how they were born, how we are each born. Others may be more right brain dominant. They may think more naturally in big picture terms, intuitively synthesizing information and then breaking it down into its component parts. That is, they are more deductive thinkers. They may connect strongly with the subjects of their research emotionally and then try to build on that empathy rationally. These researchers may favour qualitative methods. Most of us have a dominant side, but we're also a mixture of both. Here is a simple diagram of the left and right hemispheres of the brain. It is a model that is often used for professional development in organisations to highlight where the strengths of individuals lie so that they can be best enlisted for the work of the organisation, understand better the perspective of their colleagues and develop those parts of their brain that are not their natural strengths. If you are a dominant left brain learner and thinker, then having a tight project plan and amending this as you acquire more information may be the best way for you to define your project and measure your progress through it. If you believe you are more of a right brain learner and thinker, then you may respond better to a looser but still disciplined structure for conducting your research. Understanding how you naturally make sense and meaning of the world may also help you to decide on a methodology that works to your strengths. If you are a left brain dominant thinker, then quantitative methods may be most readily intelligible to you. Not so much if you're a right brainer. But this natural dominance of one side or the other does not preclude you from straying into hurting your head a bit on the other side. It can help those who are right brain dominant to try to see things in terms that don't come naturally to them. This was personally the challenge of my PhD when I did it in science. I had a hard scientist as a principal supervisor and a cultural historian as my second supervisor. His at first was an unfamiliar way for me of looking at the world and at my research. In the end, I came to understand and greatly appreciate this different perspective. Likewise, for the left brain dominant person, trying to grasp the big picture as well as the parts of the whole that can open up to a new way of seeing the world. So, learning to define and pursue your project to become an independent researcher and find your own way of making sense of life's phenomena is as much about knowing yourself as it is fulfilling the detached, objective, external rules of your scholarly project. And I'll have more to say on this later. Thank you for listening today.